You paid $60 for a game, but you don't own the game. You don't own the files. You don't own the license. And if the company decides so, you don't even own the right to play it. This is not a conspiracy theory. This is the business model. And it has a name: Digital Rights Management. Today, we are not just going to talk about DRM. We are going to look at why it failed, why the industry still acts like it works, and why the real system control never actually left. It only changed form. What DRM was? DRM means Digital Rights Management. The name sounds normal, but the rights it protects are not yours. They belong to the publisher. The idea was simple. Game companies were afraid of piracy. One person buys a game, copies it. Thousands of people play without playing. So companies built looks. Early DRM was basic: CD case, disk checks, online activation. But there was a problem. These systems mostly hurt people who paid. Pirates removed the protection in days, sometimes in hours. Meanwhile, playing customers had problems. Broken installs, lost case, activation errors. The look was working, but it was looking the wrong people, and still the industry continued. When DRM became aggressive, between 2005 and 2015, DRM became extreme. Some systems installed hidden software inside your computer. Names like Safe Disk, Secure Room, StarForce. This went deep into the operating system. Sometimes they caused crashes, sometimes they damaged hardware, sometimes they stayed in the system even after you removed the game. You bought a game, but it came with something extra, something you never agreed to install. The companies tried another idea: always online DRM. Single-player games that needed a constant internet connection, not for multiplayer, just for permission to play. If servers went down, the game stopped working. If the company closed the servers, the game was gone forever. You paid for it, but you lost access. And piracy still happening every time. DRM did not stop piracy. It never did. The industry accidentally solved piracy. Something interesting happened around 2010. A platform called Steam became very popular. Steam did not stop piracy with stronger protection. Steam made buying easier than stealing. Fast downloads, automatic updates, cloud saves, one click. For many players it became simpler to just pay, not because they became better people, because it was easier. Another store appeared: GOG. Good old games built everything on one idea: no DRM at all. You buy the game, you download it, you keep it forever, no activation, no launcher needed, and people still paid. This proves something the industry did not want to hear. Customers were not the enemy, but systemware, the last fortress. Then came a new type protection: Denuvo. The system was different. It did not just log files, it watched how the game ran, it checked your hardware, it made breaking the code extremely hard by normal methods. For some time it worked. Games stayed protected for months. Companies thought they finally solved piracy, but something else happened. A new way appeared. Instead of fighting the lock, people changed the level of the fight. Old cracking tired to break the protection code directly. The new method ignored the code completely. It went deeper. People like Kirigiri and Andrew used virtual machines and hypervisors. They ran the game inside a controlled environment. The DRM checked the hardware, but the hardware was not real. It was a copy, a simulation. and the simulation lied. The system believed everything was fine. The protection stayed in place, but the game ran anyway. The lock was never broken. It was simply walked around. Names like Empress and Voxy did it for pure technical focus. The next group did it from a completely different direction. Every time the industry built a stronger wall, someone found a different way out. The industry spent millions, added Denuvo to hundreds of games, changed companies for the license, and forced costs went to use a buyer, and people worked alone, with no money, broke it anyway. Not because they are special, because software control always has a limit, and people with enough motivation always find that limit. So, is DRM dead? Yes and no. All DRM mostly disappeared. Disk checks, activation limits, always online for single-player games. Those became too visible, too easy to laugh at. But control did not disappear, it changed shape. Games as a service. You don't buy a finished product, you rent access. Live service games, battle passes, season content, the product it never done, never fully yours, and always connected a server the company controls. Platform lock-in, PlayStation exclusives, Xbox Game Pass, Epic exclusive deals. You don't need DRM when the whole platform is the lock. Account-based ownership. Your Steam library, your Epic library, your PlayStation account, all of it is gone if the account gets banned, hacked, or if the company closes. You don't own a library, you own access to a library. Anti-cheat software, Valorant's Vanguard, easy anti-cheat, Battle Eye. These run deeper in your system than most viruses, and they stay there. This is still control, just better hidden. When control deletes culture. Let me show you a real example. In 2006, a music project called Genki Rockets released a song, Heavenly Star. It appeared in games like No More Heroes. Years later, a new version of the game came out. People buffed it again, but the song was gone, removed. Why? License agreement ended. Illegal lock deleted off piece of gaming history. You buff a game, but you don't own the right to experience it the way it was made. I did not accept that. I spent hours downloading an old video file from 2010, speed 20 kilobits per second, from people who kept the file alive than the company that made it stopped caring. I converted it and made it into a 4K video. I had to do it myself because the industry that created it locked it away. But here is the stranger part. To upload this video to YouTube, I had to break it again. I had to add visual noise, change the audio, make the quality worse on full pause. If I don't, YouTube's content ID blocks it in seconds. I had to damage that I fixed just to get past their system. And yet, there is one thing no system can lock. While companies lock files, people stay connected. For example, crazy Lumi fans remember everything. I kept sending messages to the original singer Rei Yasuda, not from a company directly. Yes, it looks stupid, but look closely. She responded, the creator remembers, the crazy fans remember. Only the system wants you to forget. Who actually wins? So who benefits from DRM? Game companies get control, they get your dependency. They can turn off your game when they want, not when you want. Platforms take cut because you cannot go around them. DRM keeps you inside their system. Pirates always won. Cracked versions still exist everywhere. DRM-free files from pirate sites often work better than the official ones. Paying customers, you got broken installs, lost games, privacy problems, and required launchers. You paid money to be treated like a criminal. This is a system working exactly as planned, not broken, planned. DRM is dead, the same way feudalism is dead. The name changed, the structure stayed. You no longer buy software, you rent access. You no longer own games, you depend on platforms. The chain got longer. It is still a chain. The industry did not remove control. It made it invisible. And invisible control is the stronger skinned. I am AnalogKodji. This was a surgery.